Hello, good evening, and welcome to the 8th and final round of the season, Season 2 of the Polyphony Digital Trophy, and we are here at the beautiful and amazing Bathurst Mount Panorama Circuit, the greatest track in Gran Turismo, in my humble opinion, for one last time this season. Of course, watching Chubbs for the qualifying session. He's the first man out on track, as always. And while we wait for him to start his lap, let's go through the gossip. As you might have seen on the back of Chubbs' car, it says "Thank you, Super." It's because, as you might remember from last week, this is Scholt Langstadler's last race in the GTRC Super. He will not be joining us next season, so a couple of the drivers have little tributes to him. He's been a big part of the GTRC over the last couple seasons, as well as winning a championship in his first ever attempt in the WTCC. But for now, we'll just sit on board with Chubbs. He's about to take his first flying lap. He goes down the start-finish straight. It's a short run down into turn 1, and then it's hard braking. Oh, quite wide off the apex there, but he makes it stick and he's through onto the exit. You don't want to hit that curb on the left-hand side, but certainly you want to be a bit closer to the left than he was there. It's over the crest, and then it's hard on the braking. Once you see the slip road on the left, you just want to get it into third, maybe second, all over that curb. He's in third. Again, very wide at the apex there, and almost, I think he hit the wall there on the exit. And braking just as the corner goes, there it is. Not too wide. He's done a decent job of that corner, but this lap is not going to set the world alight. Brilliant section, this one. Completely flat through here, and then it's a lift at the crest. Nice touch at the apex there. It's the downhill corners of Skyline. It's hard braking. You just want to get it down that dip, and there you go. That's beautiful stuff from Che Easton. Through the dip and then into the last proper corner of the mountain section here. Oh, grazing the wall there, the Falcon Tyres sponsored barrier. As we go down the Conrad Straight, the longest straights in motor racing. The most exciting is it has this big hill in the middle of it, and then will he lift going over the kink? He's getting all the track he can. It's flat out kink, of course he won't lift. Hard on the braking between the 150 and the 100. Back onto the throttle, staying off the curbs. Oof. Saying that, he's just had a sliding moment on one of the curbs. Then back down into the brakes just after the 100 board. Stay off the curb again. He's gone over that curb. Don't want to be touching these curbs. Still, the lap time is good enough for a 2:03.1, which is far from what is the best we're going to see tonight, I am afraid. Will Sutter's already setting a 2:01.9. Sutter's using a special livery tonight. She has been in the Vodafone livery all season, this time using a chrome interpretation of said livery. Adib Khan, returnee from Lugi, he sets the second fastest lap there in the Nissan GTR. And Dominic Kabinski goes fourth fastest. Ruben Threjo, nice lap from him in the LCR McLaren. That's fifth fastest for Ruben Threjo, and sixth fastest for Stijn van der Hart. Yannick Kuiper as well with seventh fastest. So Some of the faster drivers you'd expect to be up there are still yet to set a quick lap time. Here's Jake Witchell on his attempt. Jake Witchell goes second fastest, 2:02.05. So yeah, decent lap from Witchell there. But yeah, as we're talking about Jake Witchell, obviously I think it's right to mention the championship, being that he can become a champion tonight. Well, he's already a champion, but another champion, or another championship for the champion, let's say. Jake Witchell leads the driver's title with 411 points to Will Suss's 343. It will not be difficult for him to take the championship whatsoever. All he has to do is just score points in the first race of tonight, and he's done it. In the constructors, it's a very similar story. All Team Spirit has to do is score points, and they will win with their 735 points against 515's 569. So both championships are still just about up for grabs, but realistically, with both Team Spirit cars showing up tonight and Jake Witchell being one of the two that are showing up tonight, it is pretty impossible for neither of them to win the championship. Both sealed, and what a double championship that would be. But while we talk about that, pole position, I say that, provisional pole for Che Easton, his teammates just snatched that back. 2:014, and he's very laggy there. So we won't look at him, but yeah, provisional pole for Will Sutters, snatching it away from his teammate Che Easton, but Easton is going quicker once again. Dominic Kabinski also improves. That's a 2-minute 2.8. Steinman to Hart as well. So all of these guys jumping Adib Khan. Same with Ruben Thorejo, so there's definitely improvement to be made. Whether Adib can be one of those two to improve. But while this is the last race of the season, this is also the last race of quite a big and important rule in this season. Jake Witchell sets another improvement, but it's third fastest for him. Yeah, Jake Witchell. Oh, crash from Che Easton. It looked like he was on a fast one there, but just got it all twisted at Skyline. And is he going to get in his way, or get in the way of his teammate? Doesn't look like he is. Might give him a slipstream down the Conrod though. It's hard to tell whether Will is going fast or not, because he is all over the place. So we're just going to pretend that he's not there. But yeah, another special livery on the grid tonight. This Marlboro McLaren, styled off of one of the Bathurst 12-hour winning cars of old. I think it was a Bathurst. It was inspired by some kind of Holden Commodore. I know that much. I don't really know too much about Australian motorsport. But we'll just watch Dominic Kabinski to finish out this lap. But yeah, some changes next season. So changes to the teams, changes to the cars that people are driving, changes all around. One big rule that's coming in for next season is no one is allowed to use the same car that they're using right now on track at the moment, as Cal sets another improvement. So Kabinski, for example, in this NSX, he is just about to improve on his lap time. It's not enough to jump Cal. Adib also sets a faster lap, 2-minute 2. But yeah, while Kabinski's in this NSX, he will not be allowed it next season. Just is Cal, if he were to race next season, he would not be allowed the Supra. But that means they can pick any of the three cars other than the ones that they are in. But the twist with that is if your teammate has been in a different car to you, then obviously that's two cars you can't pick and only two that you can pick. And while we're on the topic of teammates, there's been a change to the teams, Jake Witchell being one of them. As Jake Witchell does improve, but it's not enough for P2. But Jake Witchell will not be racing for Team Spirit next season, so this is his last race for Team Spirit for the time being. He'll be a privateer next season, which means that the teams have changed drastically, especially, specifically in the case of Team Spirit and Project One. Project One obviously retaining Stein Van ter Hart for next season, Dominic Kabinski going there as well. Team Spirit will have Adam Hans, which he is P11. So, okay, Team Spirit will have Adam Hans next season, and they will also have the P2 man. There he is, Che Easton, just about service penalty. They'll also have him next season. So complete change up in the driver order for what will be the championship winning team tonight. So interesting to see how that will go. I imagine there would be other teams that might change as well. I know for me personally, who had to decide the Team Spirit lineup, I had interest from a lot of high-profile drivers actually on this grid that did have to say no to one or two of them. So I'd imagine that there might be some shake-ups elsewhere. Some drivers might move teams. We're just about to finish the qualifying session. It's Che Easton first across the line. Sorry, it was probably Cal. These two first across the line, and no one's making improvement. Can Adib Khan do anything? He can. It's a big improvement from Adib Khan. Same with Dominic Kabinski. Kabinski jumps Cow up into P5, and Adam Hands sets a faster lap, but that's only good enough for P10. Steinman's Hart, oh, he's had a bit of an incident in the final corner there by the looks of it. Stein also in a special livery. Stein just struggling to find his bearings at the moment. Here goes Stein, about to finish his qualifying session. Not an improvement for Stein, obviously. Jake Witchell, can he improve? Not enough. So, I believe that is qualifying session over. There is another man on track currently setting a lap, and that is Charles Langstadler for the last time in GTRC, and he's just fluffed it up entirely. But the front row, 515, once again, 515, absolutely dominant. It's Will Sutters, the first of the two. Che Easton in second. Jake Witchell is your third place man. And Adib Khan in fourth place on his one race return, should I say. Dominic Kabinski, Jake Witchell's teammate, is in P5 and Cal P6. So front three rows looking pretty interesting, but I believe we are going to be recessing the lobby for one of the new drivers as well, who joined in late, I would think. But yeah, interesting qualifying session, and one where mostly occupied by talking about what's going on next season. That qualifying session obviously set the grid for the first race being a 10-lap shootout with the standing start, false start check. Well, we are ready to get away once again. I say we're ready, we just have to have the grid all set, and then we'll be ready to get away once again. While we're doing that, let's just watch Yannick for a couple laps. Say a couple laps, hopefully it shouldn't be a couple laps, but we'll watch with Yannick. Guy who's been doing pretty good recently. Had some decent pace, had a couple nice races from Yannick de Kuiper. Looking to end his season on a high, I think it's fair to say. Long way to go still, only 3 races left, but who races around Bathurst, it might as well be the entire season left to go. Anything can happen at this track. It's a difficult old circuit. I'm just going to get rid of this music real quick. There we go. Okay, that's the driver in question we were waiting for. He will be starting at the back of the grid, but we are ready for the race start. No, we're not. What is this starting order? Okay, this race will be restarted because the starting order is all completely wrong. I thought that went a bit too quickly. Everyone has to exit the circuit now. So that was not the first race of the night. We are waiting for the lobby to actually properly reset. A lot of drivers for special liveries tonight, though, as you can see on the right-hand side, much more colourful than it usually is. I will try to make this stream a bit more exciting, but it's difficult to knowing how both championships are going to end. Let's just hope for an exciting battle. But now the grid order should be being set. If we see on the right-hand side, people will move up and down, I believe. Maybe we don't have access to that, but that is something you should see, people moving up and down. Who's that not entered? Luke Clark. Which I'm sure they will be waiting for to get the grid going. Very sorry, the commentary is a bit boring at the moment. There's not really much to talk about. And we are getting away once again. Hopefully for the proper race start, and we are ready for the actual race start. Will Sutter's in the pole position in the front row, left-hand side of the circuit. Che Easton, his teammate, on the right-hand side, and then row 2, Jake Witcher on the left, Adib Khan on the right, and then row 3, Dominic Kabinski on the left, Cal on the right. But we have the 5 red lights, and we are ready to get away. They all look to have gotten a decent launch there, but it is the McLaren, as you'd expect, that got the best. In the background there goes Ruben Threjo. Is he going to send it into turn 1? Threjo, I think, had a bit of a lunge into turn 1, and yet that he is up into P3 now. Witchell lost out a position there off the start. Lost out 2 positions, should I say, off the start. Calspur has made an improvement. Dominic Kaminsky hasn't lost too much. It was Adib Khan that's actually lost the most out of that one. There's P7 for Adib. P8 for Adam Hans, though, so he's made an improvement up the grid. Che Easton, obviously on the medium tyre, he has to use that twice tonight because he won a race last week, and I believe Will Sutters also has to use it twice. I honestly cannot remember who won last week. It's very bad of me. The race has begun, and already Will Sutters is pulling out a big margin with that tyre advantage on Che Easton. You don't expect Easton to be catching anytime soon. Ruben Threjo leads out the main battle, though, through Skyline. He's the one under the most pressure at the moment from Cal, from Jake Witchell. Those are 2 people you don't want behind you. And there's already been a crash after Skyline. There goes Ruben Threjo, involved with an incident with Cal. Not really too sure whose fault that one was, but Cal's driven off. Ruben, on the other hand, is victim of that one. And that sees him down to P8 behind Adam Hans, just in front of his teammate, however, Luke Clark. Dominic Kabinski now under pressure from Adib Khan. Kabinski to the inside, or to the outside, which then becomes the inside. Khan, though, gets the better, brakes late. Oh, bit of contact going into the apex there, but Khan is the one that comes out ahead, and Kabinski goes down to 6th. He's got Adam Hans now for company, and he loses out another position to Adam Hans. Adam Hans making up all the positions of other people's incidents or mistakes. I'll say that, but Kabinski's covered that one well. Convinced he'd lost that one. Up the front, though, Jake Witchell has just overtaken Che Easton. Easton now going to do his best to retake that position, but it's all quieting down a bit. Ruben Threjo is a man on a charge, though. Following that incident, I'm sure he's not too happy. Will he go for the move before this one? And no, it's Adam who tries it on Kabinski, but again, not close enough, not enough of an impression on Kabinski that time round. Cow under a bit of pressure from Khan. Sliding on the exit there, Cow was, but Khan's still just in touch. And who is on the mediums? Easton, okay, yeah, quite a lot. Easton, Kabinski, and quite a lot of people are on the mediums tonight. Or for this first race, shall I say. They're all going to use the mediums at least once. Oh, slide from Jake Witchell there coming down Skyline. The question is, can Witchell catch up to Sutters? It's very quickly proving to be, yes, he can. That gap is coming down very fast through those corners. It's gone back up again with, I think, Sutters had a much better run onto the Conrod. But with a 3.7 second gap, is that enough for Witchell to catch? I'll be honest, I'm not sure. For now, let's look for some kind of action. It's all kind of dying down a little bit, as you'd expect at this circuit. It becomes single file pretty quickly. Will Sutters is your race leader coming on to lap 3, leading by a 3.7 second margin. Does not have the fastest lap, so that gap is coming down between him and Jake Witchell, but only by a 10th last lap round, so nothing really to fear for Sutters. Sutters has got this one in the bag by the looks of it. Not going to be too difficult for him. Witchell in a bit of no man's land, but there is a battle brewing up behind him in the form of Cow, Chubbs and Khan. Saying that, Easton is under more pressure from Khan now. Those medium tyres really showing what they can and can't do. And one thing they can't do is fight against people on the soft tyre, especially on this track, or in these circumstances, should I say. Easton doing a good job. Khan looks like he's struggling quite a bit on the downhill, but Easton's made a bit of a mistake there. Looks like he tapped the wall slightly, has to go defensive going into this final corner here. And just about holds the position still. Khan, though, I'm sure not going to be satisfied with the P5. He knows Easton is on the slower car, or slower tyre, should I say. Khan goes for the inside, but it will become the outside for the braking zone. But I think he's going to pass him before it matters, or is he? He is. Easton lets that one go. So a deep Khan up into P4, Che Easton P5. Now Easton's got a bit of breathing room behind him. Dominic Kabinski 2 seconds behind, so Easton doesn't really need to worry about anything unless Kabinski really picks up the pace. Easton can just settle in, focus on his lap times, do his own thing. Jake Witchell with the fastest lap is a 2:015. Again, slightly quicker than Will Sutters' 2:016, but not enough really, I think you have to say. So any hope of a lead fight, I think, is quickly disappearing. These two are matching each other's pace. I'd say Sutters has just picked it up a little bit. So I think this race has already been decided. But what's happened to Dominic Kabinski? Something's happened to Dominic Kabinski, because he is very, very far back now, and he was in P6, but he's now last place. Adam Hand's occupying that position now. No clue what could have happened to Dominic Kabinski. Was it possibly some kind of mistake, some kind of incident? Oh, Adam Hands, can he keep it in one piece? Oh, he comes back on the circuit after sliding off it, and he collides with Thorejo. Thorejo, though, just about stays in one piece, and Adam Hands, good save from him, but now he's got Luke Clark to worry about just behind him. Luke Clark seeing how nip and tuck, how close that was between his teammate and Adam there, but Luke Clark has also got Stijn van der Hart behind him. Shaping up to be an interesting battle here as Adam Hans is the one under pressure from Clark. Is Clark pushing him? It looks like he is. Luke Clark pushing Adam on this time round. Is he going to go for the move? Nope. Adam keeps the position. Stein, though, is doing all he can to try and keep onto the back of Luke Clark because he senses a position there. Yeah, that was a scary one for Adam Hans. Could have ended much worse for him, but he's kept it all in one piece. And now it's all about getting that position back on Ruben Thorejo. He is on the mediums, though. So's Ruben. So it is equal footing for these two. Two cars behind them are on the softs. Is Clark going to play the team game and try and hold up Hans? Because Hans, I think it's fair to say, he's quick at the moment, quicker than Thorejo. Thorejo, though, let's not forget, did start the race quite far up the grid. And there goes Adam Hans. Round he goes, just caught on the curb there a little bit, spun him out completely. And that's game over for Adam. Did not look to be at the fault of anyone else there but himself. Simon Tahart, though, is now the next man in the hot seat, the next man who can get himself in any kind of battle, trying to put pressure on Luke Clark on this downhill section. Luke Clark, though, is not cracking under that pressure. And now we're onto the straight section. It's going to be next to impossible for Steinman to make any impression on that car, because that is where the McLaren F1 has its big advantage. That Conrod straight is very good for this car. It's kind of the main place where the McLaren F1 can really keep pace with everyone else. In the background, though, there's a little train forming. Dominic Kubinski is bringing himself back up the grid, following his whatever happened to him. He's just on the back of Yannick de Kuiper now. He's got Jolt Langstadler behind him. Langstadler, I'm sure, would be hoping for a slightly better last round than this one. Maybe the track does not get along with him too well. But de Kuiper just has to keep the pole behind him, both on equal tyres. So your guess is as good as mine. Oh, that's wide in the background from the Hungarian. Yannick de Kuiper, though, doing a very nice job keeping up his pace, not giving Kubinski any room for an overtake there, but saying that, he's just gone into the wall, and Kubinski has the inside line. De Kuiper has to let that one through, and that was a bold overtake from Dominic Kubinski there, who takes the overtake at a section of circuit where you don't really see too many of them. Good move from Dominic Kubinski. Jolt Langstadler with a penalty in the background. Not actually sure how he picked that one up, but he's got it. Let's see, is there anyone doing anything? The gap has come down a little bit between Witchell and Sutters. Sutters had a poor lap last time round. Imagine because of some kind of driving error. So the gap is coming down, but even if Witchell catches onto the back of Sutters, if I'm seeing Sutters lag as much as he is, I'm sure the other drivers are too, and that's going to be very difficult to overtake, let alone follow. So I still think Sutters is not really under any kind of real pressure. Dead for Cal, 202.3 for Khan. So yeah, the gap is coming up between those two as well. Easton is very much in no man's land at the moment, 5.4 ahead of him, 6.2 behind. This has very quickly become a ball fest, but that is Adib Khan. I thought I saw something happen there. Adib Khan has dropped it on the first corner, exit the first corner. Adib now down into fifth. So it has to do all he can to regain that position on Eastern. Obviously, he has the tyre advantage. I say go for it. So 2 LCR cars running in 6th and 7th, so this is a good old race for the McLaren drivers. Gabinski has managed to put a little bit of ground between himself and Yannick de Kuiper, and now he has to dispatch of the other Dutchie just as hard as they usually would. Obviously, teammates not yet. Van der Hart goes very, very defensive there against Gabinski, and Gabinski sees that, does not go for anything stupid. Van der Hart now parks the car in the middle of the circuit, says he's going to do everything he can to keep that position. Where's Gabinski going to go, outside or inside? He goes for out or inside, but that would be outside for the braking zone. And Van der Hart has a chance at another run at him. Van der Hart does a nice job defending that corner. Gabinski can't do anything against it. In the background, we just saw Langstadler caught de Kuiper and actually overtook de Kuiper. And was going defensive there, but Kuiper now losing out massively, losing a couple of positions. Speaking of that, where is Adam Hans? He's all the way back here. Adam Hans having a miserable old time at the back here. So the gap at the front has come down once again. Jake Witchell is closing it a little bit to Will Sutters. 2.3 now, or should I say 2.1 between the two cars. 2 dead. It is coming down fast. It will go back up again once we hit the downhill section, because that is where that Supra seems to bring out the advantage on the NSX. But I have to say, Jake Witchell was really carving out that gap. I don't think it's enough, if I'm completely honest. That was the question at the start of this race. Can he pull out enough to catch Will Sutters? And to be honest, I don't think he can. And still, it is seeming that way. But Will Sutters has lost quite a bit of pace since the start of the race. Just a couple tenths a lap, but that is enough to let the guy behind you make big indents, because the guy behind him has caught pace since the start of the race. Either way, though, this position is good enough for Jake Witchell to become the champion after this race and make Team Spirit the Constructors' champion as well. Two LCR cars still running line and stern. Can't imagine much is going to change between these two. Van der Hart, though, is quite far ahead of Gabinski, which makes me think that Gabinski has had another incident. Although Van der Hart is on the tyre advantage, so let's give him a bit of credit. Could just be that Van der Hart is pulling away from Gabinski. That was a decent lap from him, 2:23. It was best of the race. Yeah, it was his best of the race, and it's not too far off what the leaders are setting at the moment, so you've got to give credit where it's due for Stein Van der Hart. Speaking of the leaders, the gap has come up once again, so Will Sutters looks like he's picking up the pace. Jake Witchell, again, he's not going to be able to gain that gap. And this will be all she wrote, I believe, for Witchell. Once again, catching a little bit in these corners at the top section, but this is, again, Sutters puts his foot down, gets on this straight, and that Supra disappears off into the distance. It's about to serve a 1 second penalty. Will that put him under threat from Steinman to Hart? So if he does, that will be an interesting battle indeed. There'll be a fight on for P7. Stein has caught up. And now Luke has something to fight for, both on the soft tyres. There's not much time for those battles to unfold as we are going on to the final lap now. Final lap, which is hugely important. Sure, as Luke has got his rearview mirror filled with Honda NSX, there's 3 of them behind him. At the moment, it is the blue one. Luke Clark goes purple. Purple like the car. So Luke pulling out all of the tricks, getting all the stops, see what he can. I don't know what I'm saying. To do what he can to hold that position, and already he's pulling out a gap to Steinman to Hart, so maybe too little too late for Stein. Stein's pace came down again to a 5.2 on the last lap, so if only he could replicate that 2:02.3 every single lap, and he would be rapid with Steinman to Hart. I was saying that Stein has caught up Luke Clark. Luke, I think, had some kind of issue through that corner, and now the gap between them is minuscule, non-existent if you must. Stein with a slow run through the downhill, but we're just going to go up to the front of the grid. See, the gap came down massively between these two, but wasn't enough. Will Sutters will win tonight. So Will Sutters wins race 1. But story is more on Jake Witchell, who is your Season 2 Polyphony Digital Trophy champion. So he takes the fastest lap at the end there. Jake Witchell wins the championship, and it's a double championship for Team Spirit, as Jake Witchell, the lead car of the two, wins both championships. Cal with the 3rd place. Che Easton did manage to stay ahead of Adib Khan there, and he comes home 4th on the medium tyre. Adib with a P5. Ruben Thorejo, very nice job from the LCR driver this race. P6 for Thorejo. P7 for Clark. Dominic Kabinski got ahead of Steinman to Hart at 1 point, so that's 8 for Kabinski, 9 for Van der Hart, 10th for Langstadler, 11th for Kotcher, and then it is Adam Hands who will be starting provisional pole in the next race. P12 for him. Disappointing one for him, and then Yannick de Kuiper. Unfortunately, he was doing well earlier in this race, but it's a last place for Yannick. There is your race winner, pole position, clean race. Didn't really have to fight for much that time. He took his teammate and wiped the floor with everyone else, but he lost ground at the end of that race, and had there been a couple more laps, it might have been a different story, but still, good win from Will Sutters, but even better so, P2 for Jake Witchell, that confirms his championship. Congratulations, Jake Witchell, who is your Season 2 champion, and congratulations to Team Spirit. I might pat myself on the back there, but Team Spirit has just won the Constructors' Championship as well. Witchell P2, Kavinsky P8, but in the driver's standings, they will obviously not be 2nd and 8th. Big margins, though. But that's one thing I do not like about this track. This track is great. I love this track, but whenever you do a race here, overtaking is difficult, and there's always massive margins. Huge margins all around, and this race being no different. To wait now for the second race, the reverse grid of the first one, standing start. Once again, it's reversed top 12. So Adam Hands will be on pole position. He'll be on that right-hand side, or the left-hand side, should I say, sorry. He'll be on that left-hand side on the inside line going down into turn 1. With both LCR cars having a relatively decent result in that race, though. You won't expect to see any of them anywhere near the front of the grid after turn 1. Saying that, they always find a way. but it's a difficult start-finish straight to get any positions off of the launch. Very narrow and not a long run into turn 1. So the advantage the McLaren faces is really minimal. Let's have a look at Ruben's special livery. I haven't actually seen this. Ruben's special livery has... Oh, I get it. Okay. Ruben's special livery has the flag of Hungary on it. I saw it in the lobby and I was thinking, why does he put the flag of Italy? No, it's the flag of Hungary. See, to thank Super for the seasons of GTRC he's done. Super the Hungarian. The Hungarian. I've got to say, it looks good. Obviously an adaptation of Luke Clark's livery he made for the LCR team. Just with the Hungarian flag on it. And what's Adam's livery? We saw a little bit of this one. It's orange and blue. McLaren style. And he is in pole position, but yeah, good looking livery for Adam as well. But here we go for the second race of the night. Final standing start of the night. Adam Hands leading out, the American on the grid. So we hit the 5 red lights. And out they go, and it's a very quick start from the American, but it looked like maybe a bit of a jump start. It was a very fast one indeed. Adam Hands caught out completely by that one. And Adam losing a position to Steinman to Hart. Well, I'll say it, no, Adam has not lost a position to Steinman to Hart, but it is the American that is leading the race into turn 1. Adam Hands under all kinds of pressure from Steinman to Hart. Stein goes for that inside line. Adam leaves it open for him, and Adam just brakes later than him. Stein is on the medium tyre, that would be why. Soft, soft, medium, soft. Okay, Stein appears to be the only one on the medium tyres there in this front leading pack, but Che Easton's made big gains up to the front. Jeez. Che Easton up into P5, his teammate just behind him in P7. Easton, though, is on his second set of mediums for the night. And then that's no more medium tyres for Che Easton after this race, and Dominic Kubinski makes quick work of him after a mistake. And Easton holding up his teammate a little bit there. Kubinski, oh my word. Kubinski almost in an incident with Langstadler. Langstadler going very slowly through that section there, and Kubinski is saying, get a move on. Because these two Supras just behind him are absolutely hounding him down. And now we're onto the Conrad Straight. This is where the overtakes can happen for all these in this pack. And it is Langstadler who is very quickly catching onto the back of Van der Hart. He's dragging Kubinski along with him. Will we see an overtake into the next corner? It looks like we will, with the Super drivers behind. Oh, Will Sutters looked like he was defending from Jake Witchell, and then it's just bumped Che Easton off of the circuit there, or off the racing line, should I say. And Zolt Langstadler and Steinman to Hart both lost out to Kubinski that time round. Now Kubinski finds himself up into the top 3. Well, saying that, Kubinski has just been overtaken by Van der Hart and Langstadler, and it's 3 wide going down the first proper straight. They all sort themselves out again, and Will Sutters makes it 3 wide once more. Will Sutters does not look to be someone you want to be near this race. It seems his lag has calmed down a little bit, which is good. It's like he is someone you can race now, because from that first race I would not have wanted to be anywhere near him. But now it's calmed down a bit. Oh, Dominic Kubinski almost getting spun out there in the background. Did someone get spun out there? Yeah, Ruben Thorejo and Che Easton. Ruben Thorejo and Che Easton have had an incident. Yannick as well having a very poor start, but Adam Hands just sitting pretty in P2, not really making an impression on the lead, not really losing too much behind either. Jake Witchell is the car behind though. Jake Witchell I'm sure will not stay in that P3 for too long. Langstadler doing his best to stay in that P4 behind him, under pressure from both 515 cars. Oh, say both on 515 cars, but it's actually Kaminski and Sutters as Kaminski taps the rear end of Sutters as he goes through there. It's all getting a little bit fighty here. Sutters now with the chance to maybe get a move back on Kaminski. Can Kaminski cover it? Doesn't seem Sutters is close enough this time round. Things getting very tense between those two. I thought they were teammates because they have very similar looking liveries this tonight. Used to see him red and white, instantly thinking 515, and oh, contact through the corner there as Kaminski is pushed wide. And now under pressure from Van der Hart. Van der Hart not close enough to make a real overtake. Langstadler just keeping in tow of Jake Witchell, and they're all catching the race leader now. And the first to catch him, it will obviously be Adam Hans. Adam, though, is not really having the pace that Jake Witchell especially is finding tonight. Adam takes those corners quite nicely, to be fair to him. He's got to find a little bit more pace than this, though. Short Langstadler, ooh, sliding from the Hungarian. Does he keep it in one piece? Yes, he does. Keeps it all together. Chasing down this season's champion. All Sutters making a mistake on the final corner there, and that gives Dominic Kaminski another chance to catch up, and Kaminski, I'm sure, will not play fair against Sutters. Contact every time these two have come near each other so far this race, but it seems like Sutters had contact with pretty much everyone he's come near so far this race. That lag not helping one bit. I've got to say, of all the circuits to be slightly jittery at, this is the worst one, but that's not his fault, no one's fault. Just the fault of the game. Langstadler with the fast lap now. Kaminski takes that away from him. Jake Witchell not making mass. Ah, that's why he's on the medium tyre. Jake Witchell is not on the soft tyre, he's on the mediums. Not making massive indents on Adam Hans for that reason, but Adam Hans, however, is gaining quite fast on the race leader. Half a second between the two of them now, and you'd imagine that there might be a change for the lead soon. Adam Hans looks to have picked up the pace a little bit, but again, he's just not quite got the edge on this top hill section, but there's a mistake from the race leader, and Adam Hans tries around the outside, can't quite do it. Just has to be patient if he wants to get this one done. But he has to remember that the longer he waits, the quicker Jake Witchell behind him catches up, and already Witchell is in that slipstream. I wonder, does dirty air have any kind of effect on this mountain? I doubt it. I doubt dirty air has much as an effect in these cars. Adam might weigh his options soon and realise that maybe the best chance isn't to go for that move himself, but instead let Witchell carve the line for him. Would be a foolish move, though. Witchell is on the medium tyres. But he is under pressure from Witchell. Who's going to make the move here? It's going to be Witchell going for the overtake. Adam does let him through there. I'm not sure how well that move's going to work out, but Witchell takes the overtake for P2. Not too much point fighting that one for Adam. Makes sense. In the background, Langstadler losing out of position to Sutters. Oh, sliding in the background, Luke Clark. Oh my word. Luke Clark just about keeping it in one piece there, but bloody hell. That was a close one. So yeah, Langstadler is now under a bit of pressure. Well, he will be under pressure from Kaminski. He's not under pressure yet. But the lead of this little pack behind first place is Witchell. He's got Hans and Sutters behind him, both on the soft tyres, and Hans side by side with Sutters, and Hans lets Sutters through. Is that a penalty in the back? I thought that was a penalty in the background, but it's not. So Sutters now has moved his way up into P3. He's got Witchell in his sights. Witchell not able to make an indent on the race leader. Well, he has made an indent, but he hasn't made a sizable jump to the front. Witchell, however, does a nice job in the downhill. And all this is doing is keeping Sutters behind him for a little bit longer. He's right on the back of the race leader now. And as you'd expect is where the change for first happens. Jake Witchell tucks into the slipstream. Only 2 tenths between the two of them. And where does Witchell go, inside or outside? He goes for what will become the outside. Witchell on the weaker tyre. Does he have the grip to do it? Jake Witchell goes around the outside, or does he? It seems like he just went a little bit too wide there. Did not have the grip to do it, and still the lead stays the same, but Will Sutters now has the chance to go for it on the soft tyres. And the outside was never really the right call there for Jake Witchell. On the weaker tyre, always going to be less grip, and there's all kinds of fighting going on in the background between Charlotte Langstadler, Adam Hans and Dominic Kaminski. Langstadler currently leading these three, but it wasn't like that a moment ago. Three-way Honda battle. Hans goes wide and Kaminski takes that overtake. But Langstadler's doing a nice job leading out this pack. And I say that, Kaminski has just taken the move on Langstadler, and Hans also makes the same mistake that Langstadler just made, but Kaminski moves up to P4. Langstadler and Hans both making an error, and they are in the clutches of Luke Clark now in the McLaren. So 3 stays 3, just Kaminski has escaped that 3. At the front though, it's all Supra. Oh, there's a crash. There's a crash from the leader. He makes an error, and Will Sutters also closes the door on Jake Witchell, who had a much bigger overspeed coming down the downhill there. Jake Witchell takes that overtake. I think Will Sutters let him through there. Yeah. The race leader crashed, got off the racing line for Will Sutters, but Will Sutters also being in the crash was right on the racing line for Jake Witchell, and there was an incident between these two. Will Sutters letting Witchell through afterwards just to apologise. And now Jake Witchell is your race leader, Will Sutters P2, but Will Sutters not going to stick around in that position for too long. It's been quite a difficult car to fight against though. I honestly, he just jumped from second to third. Kaminski went very wide in the background there. He's kept it in one piece, but he went very wide. And oh my word, so Jake Witchell is going to run away from that one. Jake Witchell's having none of that one, not getting involved in that fight. It's the two of them behind, having a weird fight, I think it's fair to say. Will Sutters though, I mean, I've said it all night, it's going to get boring as saying, but not helped whatsoever by the lag. I'd say though, the newcomer American did a very good job, obviously starting on the front row from the reverse grid. And that's all you need sometimes, to have poor result in one of the first few races and you get a high starting place in the reverse grid, it's all you need to have a good race. If you don't quite have the pace of some of the other drivers on the grid, that is. Jake Witchell is just pulling out a little bit of a gap now on those medium tyres. And Dominic Kubinski, what the hell happened there? So both Supras fighting for some reason, and now Dominic Kubinski is ahead of both of them. And Kubinski is making a massive gap between the both of them. I really would love to know what just happened between those two. Dominic Kubinski has come out on top, out of nowhere. It seemed like he was nowhere near the two of them. Now he is in P2. Still nowhere near him because he's completely gapped him. And now Zsolt Langstadler as well, making the move on, you know, what has happened there? 3 wide in the background, or it was briefly 3 wide with Adam Hans. Zsolt Langstadler gains position. Adam Hans, is he also going to do the same? Not quite, side by side for the two, but how did Dominic Kubinski get that overtake? It's now the Constructors' Champions 1-2. Jake Witchell is the leader of those two. Will Sutters is about to put on pressure for Dominic Kubinski. Things got very interesting there. Some kind of incident, battle, whatever happened between those two. They lost a huge amount of time, and Dominic Kubinski completely took advantage of that and said, I will take that, thank you very much. I mean, that's how Jake Witchell got to the lead as well. Saw those two having some kind of incident, and Jake Witchell said, you know what, I'll take that. And Witchell still doing some very impressive lap times on those medium tyres, I think it's fair to say. 2:02.5 being his fastest. There's not much left to go with this race, and Dominic Kubinski is under pressure from Will Sutters and hits the wall there, and Will Sutters makes the overtake quite easily. Dominic Kubinski not letting it go completely. Yeah, that was an easy move for Will Sutters with the mistake from Dominic Kubinski. Zsolt Langstadler, though, is having a pretty nice race up in P4. Not lost too many positions, and he's only got Luke Clark behind him. He's 3 seconds behind. Luke Clark, though, is being aided by his LCR team, or is he? Ruben Thorejo goes for the overtake on Luke Clark, side by side over the kink, and Luke Clark lets that one through. Oh, Ruben Thorejo, though, misses his braking point completely. Just avoids coming back onto the racing line. Good stuff from Ruben. That was not an unsafe rejoin. And I just saw Cal. Cal's having a quiet race, isn't he? Quite a good one in the first race, but he is on those medium tyres now, and he's having a very quiet one as Adam Hans goes round. Is aided a little bit from a crash with Cal. Adam Hans just about avoided spinning completely, and I think that might have been Adib Khan who caused that one, as Adib slows down to let him through. It's all dying up the front. Jake Witchell is losing a bit of ground to Will Sutters, but I think it's once again too little too late. Sutters, though, is in the clean air for the first time in this race, really. He has a chance to set his lap times, but you have to say Witchell is doing a pretty good job coming as close as he can to matching them, and he is on the medium tyres, whereas Sutters is on the softs. Kubinski found his way up there on those soft tyres, and he does have Langstadler catching him fast, but Langstadler does have a penalty to serve. So Kubinski, I'm not too sure, would be too fussed or worried whatsoever about the current situation. As Langstadler comes up to the penalty line now on this Conrad straight. There he is, he slows down for the penalty. And that should be it for the battle for P3, I think. Is there any battles going on elsewhere on the track? Yes, there is. Cow is under pressure from Hans and Khan. Cow loses out to Hans and Khan. Hans being the first of the two, then Khan. Hans still the leader of this fight. Oh, once again, contact with Lugi. Once again, contact with Adib. Khan goes to turn in for the corner, and Adib has already gone there. Tap to the rear end, and that is Adam Hans out of this one. Adib might have had a push from the rear on that one, but my. 2 times now. Zsolt Langstadler is ahead of Dominic Kubinski. I think Kubinski might have made some kind of mistake, because that is quite a sizable gap between the two of them. And then it's a fight for the lead. I had a feeling we might get one of these. Jake Witchell just ahead of Will Sutters. Is he going to be able to hold out to the already race winner tonight? Can the champion do it? Jake Witchell comes through the final proper braking zone before the difficult chicane. Looks like Will Sutters had a very nice run through there. Is he going to be able to slingshot his way through the Conrad Straight? Witchell doing all he can to break the slipstream. I'm going left, I'm going right, he says. And still Will Sutters is just behind him. One last braking opportunity, one last overtaking chance. And Jake Witchell leaves the inside line for Will Sutters. Will Sutters brakes late. He brakes just at the right time, though. He takes that overtake. And Will Sutters looks to be taking his second win of the night. Jake Witchell has nothing against that. And that is game, set, match for Will Sutters. He takes win number 2 of the night. Jake Witchell just behind. What a battle for the end there. And then it is Zsolt Langstadler taking what might be his last ever GTRC podium. P3 for him. Dominic Kubinski, P4. Luke Clark and Ruben Thorejo, another great result for the LCR boys. And then it's Cow in P7. He just about leads that battle to Che Easton. And then it's Kosher, Khan and Hans. Disappointing one from Hans there. He was running so well and then got involved in too many incidents that time round. Yannick de Kuiper just about finishes ahead of his Dutch compatriot. Yannick will be on pole position for this next race. But good fight for the lead there from Will Sutters, who just about takes the race win. In a very close fight between the two of them. So we're about to get on for the final race of the night, the rolling start. There is your top 3 in Will Sutters, Jake Witchell and Zsolt Langstadler. Very fast laps from Jake Witchell, I think it's fair to say, on those medium tyres. But super Zsolt Langstadler with what could be his last podium in GTRC. A nice send-off for the Hungarian, taking Dominic Kubinski at the end. Kubinski with some kind of mistake that we did miss, unfortunately. Kubinski still comes home with the P4, and then it's a 5-6 for the LCR McLarens, doing a very, very nice job in these first 2 races for Team LCR, you have to say. Finishing line and stern once again. But it is Cow who finishes home in P7, Che Easton in P8, and we can't see. But we're just about to get on for the final race of the night. Oh dear. And I'm already tired. It's always a good sign. But we have had 2 interesting races, and now for the last race of the season. Zsolt Langstadler's potentially last race in GTRC. Can he do anything? Already a P3 for him. I'm sure if he ends with that, he'll be perfectly happy. But are there going to be any heroics for the last race of the season? Last race, Che Easton starting on the softs. Finally gets to use those soft tyres. Been out of the medium purgatory. And that is a big question, actually. Can Che Easton make it 3 weeks in a row where he's won a race? Luke Clark goes over the jump there. Gets a lot of air. But yeah, Che Easton, can he make it 3 in a row? He's on the soft tyres. He didn't finish too high in the last race, which means he's in a very nice chance. Very nice position to win this race. Can he jump again? Oh, no, the jump's better the other way around, Luke. But we are away for the final round, or the final race of the season, in the final round of the season. Yannick de Kuiper is your leader. Then it's Adam Hans, Adib Khan, A. Kosher, Che Easton and Cow in P6. And then the LCR boys in 7th and 8th. Yannick rounds the final corner to start off the race. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So they will go away, and it is a... well, I can't really say it's a decent start for anyone because it's an automated rolling start, but Adam Hans, should I say, is in a nice position. He is on the medium tyres. Adib Khan is on the softs. And Khan already looking to make a position on Hans. Maybe this time with less contact than in the last race. Khan brakes later. Hans not going to really fight too hard for that one. In the background, though, that is Che Easton making the overtake on Cow. Easton. Easton still under a bit of pressure, to be fair. But Khan is the one that's broken away. Deep Khan chasing down Yannick de Kuiper. Yannick having it easy at the moment. Adam Hans very wide through that corner. Oh, Adib with a 1 second penalty. Where did he pick that one up? I actually really don't know where he picked up a 1 second penalty, but he will be serving that immediately by the looks of it. And that will give Che Easton and Adam Hans a very good opportunity to make a position. I think Che Easton's already making the overtake on Adam Hans. And they go, oh my word, that was almost Michael Schumacher-esque. You go one way, I go the other. But it's Che Easton in the end who comes out on top. And Easton's now up into P2. Oh my word, Cow off the circuit. Cow was on the grass there in the braking zone, and Cow has gone so wide into the gravel trap. Good job for Cow for avoiding a collision there. That could have spelled disaster for him, and I think he's out of this race now. That was a close one for Cow. But now it's Che Easton who is in the hot seat to try and take P1. There's a 2.5 second gap between himself and first. Behind that, who are the next real contenders for the race win? Jake Witchell and Dominic Kubinski, P6, P7. For now, we are watching... oh, we were watching Che Easton, but we'll watch someone else. So there's a big gap between Langshadler and Sutters. So Sutters, a bit out of this one. Aha, Sutters on the mediums. That makes sense. Does have Van der Haar for company. Granted, not very close company, but it's company nonetheless. Super's just posted a video to YouTube, apparently. Super's there. Well, I've just had a notification come up that he's posted a video to YouTube. I don't know what he's doing. Yannick still leads this race, as you'd expect. Yannick is doing a pretty fine job keeping that car in one piece coming down that hill. Che Easton, though, is closing that gap. Adam Hands on the medium tyres. I don't think any of the cars behind him are. No, they're not. They are all on the softs. And Jake Witchell is looking for a move on Adib Khan. Jake Witchell looks to the inside. Adib does not have anything to defend against it. And Jake Witchell goes very, very deep, almost into the back of Ruben Thorejo. Oh, my word. Adam Hands looked like he got caught out there. And there is Adib Khan off into the gravel with Adam Hands rejoining. Adib is out of this one into the wall after the gravel and is spinning all over the place on the circuit. And I think Adam is waiting for him after that one. That was a clumsy one. Adam goes off, comes back on, takes out Adib. Unfortunate for the two of them. Very unfortunate one for both of them. Langstraddle has picked up another penalty. Witchell is in P5. Kabinski has made a big, big jump up to Ruben Thorejo. Dominic Kabinski does not look to be sitting around too long behind Ruben Thorejo. On paper, that NSX is quicker around here. But let's not forget that the place to make the overtakes is on that Conrad straight, and it's going to be a difficult one for anyone to overtake that F1 GTR on the Conrad straight. Up front once more, Che Easton. Trying his best to catch up to Yannick Kuiper, but Che not really having the astonishing pace of his teammate. He's finding it difficult through these corners. Saying that he is catching up massively to Yannick, so maybe Yannick is finding it just that little bit more difficult. But I feel once Easton gets ahead of De Kuiper, it is going to be game over for the Dutchman. And if Easton is the one that wins this race, we can safely say that this season we've had 9 separate winners. So not quite the highs of last season, but still very, very good season. Lots of variety in the race winners, lots of variety in racing. Che Easton looks to be the last of those winners if he can get this move done. 2:02.2 for him. Yannick De Kuiper still holding off Che Easton, to be fair. The Dutchman leading this race well. Ruben Thorejo and Dominic Kabinski. Kabinski has not gained enough on Thorejo, and in fact, Jake Witchell is now filling up his rear view mirror. So, Kabinski having to look behind. But still, but still, we are watching the two race leaders battle it out on the downhill in Toyota Supras. Yannick once again not getting the best exit on that final corner before the Conrad, and Easton might be able to make the overtake before the first kink even happens. As they go up the hill, Easton shifting just that bit later, give him an extra bit of run up the straight. They're side by side coming into the kink now. Are they both going to take it flat? Yes, they are. They're both taking it flat. Who's going to be the bravest? And it is Che Easton who breaks latest. Does he break too late? No, he breaks just on time, and Che Easton takes the race lead. In the background, Jake Witchell also overtakes both his teammate and Ruben Thorejo. Thorejo, though, is ready to retaliate. not in the right position though. That McLaren's brakes are just not as good as the Honda's. Saying that though, he is going for the overtake once again. Is Ruben Ferrejo? Does he get it done? Still side by side, and which might have the benefit as a teammate, but now Ferrejo pulls ahead. Mitchell defending against his teammate. Kavitsky not able to make any indent on Jake Witchell, so Ruben Ferrejo does keep that P3. Will Sutter's bit in no man's land at the moment. Big gap behind, big gap in front. It's 2 Project 1 cars in 7th and 8th. What's happened to Luke Clark? Luke Clark's having a bit of eyes on the mediums. That is something we've learnt this season. If you put Luke Clark on the mediums in that McLaren, it's not a good day for him. Che Easton though, once he's got that clean air, my, he has absolutely disappeared up the road. It's not even close. Oh, we just caught that one as it was coming to its climax. It looked like Ruben Ferrejo was having some kind of issue on the exit of that corner, and both Team Spirit cars got past him. It's Dominic Kubinski, the front of those two now. Jake Witchell is not going to let that one slide though. I do wonder what just happened there. Ruben Ferrejo, I think, had some kind of error on the exit. Both Team Spirit cars saw that was the chance to make the move. Now Ruben might have to look behind him in his rearview mirror at Will Sutters. There he is. Sutters having much better connection this race, I think. Certainly looks better than race 1. Dominic Kubinski is just holding off Jake Witchell. All this does though is benefit the front two. Gives them some breathing room. Ooh, all over the curb there for Dominic Kubinski. He's under all kinds of pressure from Jake Witchell at the moment. Jake Witchell, is he going to make the move before the braking zone? All side by side going into the braking zone, and they're still side by side through the corner, doing a very nice job giving each other room, but it is Jake Witchell who gets the move on the exit there. Dominic Kubinski has to back out of that one. Again, goes for the slipstream. There is a move on there. Can he hang it round the outside at the kink? Will he get a push from Ferrejo? I think he's gotten a little bit of a push from Ferrejo, and now going into the braking zone off the chicane. All over the curb, Dominic Kubinski, and Jake Witchell still gets the better run. Witchell goes defensive once again. Leaves the inside line open for Kubinski, but Kubinski would be daft to go for a move there. And now Witchell finds a little bit of a gap between himself and Kubinski. Kubinski has to ready for another attack, but he's not going to be able to do that with an exit like that out of the turn 1. Ruben Ferrejo, will he push Kubinski? Will he go for the overtake himself? He's sitting it behind Kubinski. Oh, slide from Ferrejo, and Ferrejo's off. Ferrejo is out of this one. Ferrejo slid on the exit, and that is him gone. Not able to save that one. I think he held up Sutters a little bit there, because now Sutters is much closer to Langstadler than he was before. unfortunate for Ruben Thorejo, and unfortunate for Will Sutters as well, who got himself tangled up in that incident. We'll just check back at the front, and it is still Che Easton, 2:01.3. That's a mighty fast lap from Che Easton. Better late than never is what I say. When you find your pace at any track, it's better late than never. Easton is lapping on similar pace to what Sutters and Witchell were doing. Easton looking to make it 3 rounds in a row where he's won a race. Never been able to even make it 2 rounds in a row before this season. Che Easton is on a roll. Only race as well where he's not on those medium tyres. Timed this to perfection. Yannick though, let's not forget about him. Yannick again with another strong race. Always seems to have a good one in either the second or the third race. And this one is no exception. Doing a very nice job getting that car around the circuit. No mistakes. Yes, he doesn't quite have the pace of Easton, but you don't need that if you are keeping it all in one piece. Jake Witcher with the new fastest lap, 2:01.1. Theoretical best, obviously, in the 2-minute deads. But if anyone can do that in these cars, that would be seriously impressive. Kubinski is just falling off the back of Jake Witchell a bit there, but he's not got much pressure behind to Will Sutters. Will Sutters, I'm sure, will feel a bit disappointed with that one. Slowed down massively by an incident that wasn't even his fault. But I'm sure there's nothing really much he can feel disappointed. He's won 2 races tonight. Let's not get greedy, let's not go for 3. Winning 3 races in a row has been done before, 3 in one night. But it's not going to be done tonight by the looks of it. Sure, Sutters would have hoped he would be able to. But by no fault of his own. Missing out that time round. Jake Witcher was now on the back of Yannick de Kuiper. I felt like this might happen soon, and it has happened. Yannick de Kuiper just doesn't have the pace to keep on the back of Che Easton, and in doing that he doesn't have the pace to keep ahead of Jake Witchell. Witchell will be looking for a chance to get P2. Be a nice way of ending off his season as champion. And if Kubinski can follow through with the P3, it'd be a nice way to end off their season as champions. Yannick leads out for another corner and will lead onto another lap on the penultimate lap of the season. And Yannick just about holding out for P2. Can he hold out for 2 more laps? It's going to be difficult. Witcher will not make any kind of stupid overtake, but saying that, every time we've seen him make an overtake so far tonight, he has messed up the braking quite badly going into that chicane. So let's hope if he gets the opportunity, it will not be there. As braking goes, it is harder to brake the faster you're going. Harder to judge where to brake, that is. And braking into that Conrod chicane, or I'm not actually too sure what it's called. Braking into the chicane at the end of the Conrod straight, it's a difficult one. Jake Witchell not leaving any breathing space for Yannick de Kuiper. Yannick holds that inside line line quite nicely. Will Kubinski push his teammate? He is. He senses a podium for the both of them, and he's going to follow his teammate wherever he goes. And that's a double overtake for the two of them. So it's a double overtake 2 cars past Yannick. Kaminsky almost onto the grass there, went very wide out of the kink. But it is Jake Witchell who takes P2 and Kaminsky who takes P3. The question is, do these two fight? They have every chance to. They are on the final lap of the season now. Final lap of the season, and in all reality, it is Che Easton who's leading by such a huge margin. Really signifies his brilliant end to this season. Winning a race in all 3 of the final rounds of the season. Well, let's not jinx it, but it looks like he's about to do it now. But all eyes are on this season's champions, Witchell and Kaminsky. Kaminsky's fallen back a little bit from Witchell. It's under pressure from Yannick, so I don't think there will be a move. Move for P2. Go through these corners. For the last time tonight, for the last time this season, they're taking a lap as the sun starts to set over the Bathurst. Well, it's not really setting. Thank God we're not doing a race at night. I actually hate watching the races at night. It's so difficult to commentate over. Saying that, my commentary has been very poor tonight. But we are on the final stretch for this season, and Che Easton is leading us out. Thank you everyone for watching this season of GTRC. It's been an exciting one, and Che Easton is the one who will be ending it in first. As he takes home the final race win of the season after an incredible end to the season. And a good start for a new team next season. All new horizons for this man right here. Che Easton, he takes home his 4th win of the season. He slows down at the line just to show off a little bit, as Che Easton is the race winner for the last time this season, the final race of the season. But it is the champions who come home in 2nd and 3rd. Witchell and Dominic Kaminsky are the champions of the constructors title and the drivers title in the case of Jake Witchell. Yannick de Kuiper in P4 though, great race from the Dutchman once again. Will Sass is P5. Scholt Langstadler on his last ever GTRC race finishes in P6. And then it is the first of the 2 LCR cars in Ruben Thorejo, P7, Deeb Khan, P8. Adam Hans comes home at P9. Last race for JTB. He's also joining a new team next season. And then it is Stein van der Hart, who comes home P10, just ahead of the newcomer in his first race. Leading out the American. As he weaves over the line, he's very happy with that one. So does car behind. And then it is Luke Clark right at the back. But as I was saying a little bit at the end, thank you everyone for watching this season. It's been an exciting season of racing. Having the Teams Championship back has been a blast. Che Easton having some insane form at the end of this season, winning 4 races in 3 rounds, and this is being his 4th one, the last race of the season, just leading out ahead of the 2 champions in the Constructors' Championship and Jake Witchell in the Drivers' Championship. So it's a double championship for Team Spirit and for Jake Witchell. And Yannick de Kuiper, another great position from the Dutchman in the final race as well, taking home P4, leading the first half of the race. Incredible job from the Dutchman. There is your race winner once again. Clean race bonus, up 4 positions for the 4th win of the season. And now, who knows what's going to happen next? Next season starting in a matter of weeks. We do have pre-season before that. Pre-season in the 2008 Japanese touring cars. But thank you everyone for joining in this season. And we will see you in a matter of weeks. Been an exciting few rounds. And they're going to do the photo shoot now. They do at the end of every single season. Usually I do join in on this photo shoot or I stream it. But I've got to head to work in about 20 minutes, so I will not be able to join in. So we'll just leave you with the final messages, I'm sure, as Will would say as well, the league admin. Thank you everyone for joining us this season. It's been a really fun one. It's been one of the better seasons we've had, and cheers all. So I've got to say, cheers all. Well done. Well done to all the drivers. Well done to Che Easton for taking home his 4th win of the season, the last race win of the season. Well done to Team Spirit, both Team Spirit cars, and to Jake Witchell for winning both the championships. Well done to Will Sutters as well for the very good late season charge, finishing P2 in the end in the Drivers' Championship, and to 515, his team, who finished P2 in the Constructors as well. And, of course, well done to LCR, finishing 3rd, I believe, in the end. Good results tonight in all 3 of the races. But, I mean, well done to all the drivers. Thank you, everyone. It's been a pleasure.